All right, all right, all right. We'll do it live.
Hello, friends.
Yo.
We're live.
Oh,
We'll
shit.
do it live.
Bo, we should ask the chat to guess what I'm drinking. See what they say.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
We're live. We're live.
We are live for real? I need to go look at your stream so I can check if my hair looks good.
You look so. You always look good, dude. You're one. You've always been a fellow bandman that I was like, you know what? That's a good looking dude.
See, okay, so, oh shoot, sorry, hold on.
I need a haircut so bad. I've had a hat on stream for like 2 weeks because it's like it's starting to like, string out over the tops of my ears and stuff. It's so gross. So gross.
So on my stream, last week, we were talking about how like basically if your name is Ryan, you automatically are super handsome. Like
I don't agree with that at all.
so there's you guys, right? The two Ryans. There's Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and I can't even think of a not handsome Ryan. Literally, it doesn't exist.
There's a lot of handsome. There's a lot of handsome Ryans in the world. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and go like, yeah, I know I'm handsome.
Also, your name isn't Ryan, actually.
I need a haircut. It's just gross. It's just gross.
Question for you. Sorry, we're just gonna. Is your chat okay if we just talk about weird stuff today?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
We don't. There's
Define
no rules
weird
here.
stuff.
So, how long did it take you to black out your arm? Did you do it like one session or?
It took two sessions, and I was. And by the way, I don't think I've told you this, but I start December 15th on the next sort of phase of the journey where I'm getting crazy white line work done all the way up to the top. So
wow.
I'm going to this artist in the guy that did the blackout. His name's Hood. His Instagram's HOODE215. So if you want to see the wildest black work on the internet, check him out. But
Okay.
I'm going to an artist in Denver who's actually from Atlanta, so we kind of connected over that because my family's from Georgia and stuff. But anyways, his name is Clinton Lee, and he does like really unique, his own style of super intricate line work pieces. And so the whole concept behind this, what caught my eye the first time I saw it was white on black concept, and just wanting to cover up my old sleeve and not really, and like I've tried a couple different versions of cover up. Actually, to be honest, this is technically my fourth full sleeve on my arm because I had my sleeve done from back in the day. I wanted to cover it up. So a couple of years ago, I started a cover up with a friend here in Nashville who does really amazing cover up work. And we got pretty far, like on both top and bottom. There was stuff left to do, but we got pretty far. And then both of us just weren't like, cover ups are hard. It just wasn't like exactly right. And so, I was like, you know what? I wanted to do the blackout thing and the white on black from the beginning, and I just kind of didn't have the balls, and let's just do it. And so my buddy here was like, all right, cool, let's do it, and not being a black work artist, we got started on it and realized that kind of he was like, you should go to a black work person if this is what you want to do, because I think it's more of a specific thing. So I had a bunch of first pass black ink that didn't really take as well, and then I went and got this done. So
wow,
it's been really painful to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dying, but this is insane. I mean, when you look at this, like the
oh yeah,
it's just crazy, dude. And so.
Oh.
On top, and it's jarring, and people are like, "What are you doing? What?" But I love it. I think it looks awesome every time I see it on someone, and the white line work is just here. Let me show you a picture. I'll be able to show you on the Zoom camera. Hold on.
Here's another question for you. So the first sleeve, and then a cover up, and then now with blackout.
Yeah.
Can you feel like, because sometimes for me, like, I mean, obviously I'd have nowhere near the amount of ink that you do, but like there's some spots that I can feel every once in a while that just kind of feel like you can like feel the ink in your arm.
I don't
Do you
think.
have that or no?
No, I don't think so. And I also don't. I feel like I got really lucky. I realized I've been really lucky with every artist I've ever worked with. I don't have any scarring. A lot of times you see someone get a black work cover up, and there's crazy like raised up areas and lines and stuff. I have literally none, bro. None. Like not a single spot is raised up from like old scar tissue or anything. So I guess I was really lucky with everyone I've ever worked with. But check this out. This is I can't see my own zoom. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Like it's in focus, you can see it.
Yeah.
So that's I'm not going to do that exact piece, but that's the guy that I'm going to do it.
Wow.
It's crazy, right?
That is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're watching the stream here, I got camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Why? I can't get it to focus. Focus.
You gotta take
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with my arm, everyone. So.
That's going to be awesome.
Cameras are hard.
My fingers hurt.
Talk about another film that stands the test of time.
It's so good.
What is that from?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, gosh.
So good.
Ben Stiller with that mustache.
So this took this took 2 sittings, 2 sessions, and when I was up there, I went to Philly to get it done, and when I was like, we got up like midway, a little under midway of my bicep on the first session from the bottom up, and I was kind of like trying to be like, let's just do it, let's just go. And he was like, bro, I've done it and people can do it. He's like, you don't want to do that shit, man. He's like,
right.
You'll be sitting here for another 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever, and you will be absolutely dead when you come to, And so. Yeah. So I only went up to here, but my biggest mistake was that I flew home the next day. And dude, it was like, it's more ink than you've ever imagined going, in your arm at one time. And so I fly home the next day, and I had like a midday flight so that I could get up in the morning, get it wrapped and, or get it cleaned. I wasn't going to wrap it on the flight because if I did, when you wrap it, it's pushing all the plasma and everything out. So if I wrapped it on the plane, it would have been, dude, I mean, it just would have been a bag on my arm,
Goopy mess.
Right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wrap it, but it's just like a giant open wound on my arm that I'm walking through the airport and like getting on a plane. So I had a box of saran wrap with me that I was gonna take that I got in Philly, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna fly with this because it's got that serrated edge thing, and I carried on my bags, so whatever, I'll be home, I'm not wrapping it again until I get home tonight. So I'm flying, I'm sitting, I got upgraded luckily, so I had like a bigger space to sit in, but I'm like holding my arm up in the air, like not, and everyone on the plane is like, what is, they're like not into it, right? And so I'm sitting like this, like holding it up, and it's just disgusting. It's disgusting.
Right.
So I get to Atlanta. I have to connect through Atlanta because I fly Delta, so you can't get anywhere directly from Nashville anymore.
Okay.
But I have to connect through Atlanta. So I land in Atlanta at like 5:30 p.m. or something. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. Flight's not going. 9:30, 10:30. They're like, by 11, they're like, okay, we have another plane coming in now. We have to try to get the crew on and get out of here because the whole crew is almost at their maxed hours where they can't fly anymore, Wow. And if we don't get out of here on this time or whatever, we're going to have to cancel the flight. So we all get on the plane. The crew is like, get everybody on, and we don't make it. So the crew has to go home. So we all have to get off the flight. We have to go to a hotel at the Atlanta airport. So now I'm still going, dude, not wrapped all day now. I've been up since like 7 a.m. I'm miserable. You know what your body feels like after that too. So imagine getting drilled with this much and not sleeping yet, not, day after. I was dying. My arm was the size of a fucking, redwood tree. It was crazy. So I get to the hotel.
Why do you do these things to yourself?
Well, I don't know. I get to the hotel, and well, dude, the moral of this story, by the way, for anyone who's watching or listening, is don't ever get tattooed. That's the answer. Like, this is all fixing old, gross, bad tattoos that I should have never gotten in the first place. Tal, thanks for the gift subs.
May the force be with you.
So I get to the hotel, but I don't have any saran wrap. I don't have any soap. I don't have anything to take care of it. So I have to get an Uber to the only Walgreens that's open at 12:30 in the morning on a weeknight near the airport. It's 9 miles away. So it's 30, 40 minutes in the Uber to get to this fucking place. 30 minutes, I guess. Get there, get all the shit, 30 minutes back. I'm so out of it that when I call the Uber to go back to the hotel, I put the wrong Marriott in. So they drop me off. I get out and I'm like, oh, this isn't my hotel. So I have to call another Uber, which takes like 20, 25 minutes to get to me. By the way, flight's at 7 a.m. the next morning. It's now almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So Uber comes to that one, picks me up, takes me to the right hotel. I get upstairs, I wrap my arm, I lay down, 3 hours later, I'm up and I have to go to the airport, not wrapped again. And and I finally got home and went into a coma for like 15 hours when I got home. So that was my first tattoo experience. The second half, I was much wiser and booked a hotel room in Philly for 4 nights, and I didn't move. I just stayed in Philly after it. And I holed up in the hotel. I got, I like kept it clean. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything, and it healed perfectly. And I was totally, by the time I flew home, it was already like flaky. So that was, dude, the first one was a nightmare, bro. It was a nightmare. So I don't have a good answer, Ryan, other than I wish I didn't do any of it, and I wish I'd never gotten a tattoo. That's the truth of it. But
some of that tattoo
here we are
that you had was like very special to you, though.
What?
Some of that tattoo stuff that you had was very special.
On my arm that I covered up?
Yeah.
I think the only 2 tattoos on my arm that I miss are the first one I ever got, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Which was for a friend that passed away.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which I needed to get redone anyways, because it was so, like, it wasn't even blue anymore. It was just like skin color. It faded so bad. And then the one on my forearm that I got in Japan, the like ship that I had, I love those too. Literally the rest of it was just so old and meaningless, and some of it was really good art. I'm not saying the artist was bad at all, but like it just didn't mean any. I was just tired of looking at it. And now it's like second half, right? Like you say, we're entering the second half of the game being life, right? I get like fresh, brand new tattoo for this whole go around that I can actually take care of and make sure it doesn't fade and get gross and, not be an idiot. So
you just made everyone lose the game, by the way.
Everyone just lost the game. Wow. I haven't lost the game in a long time.
Well, you're welcome. You did it to yourself.
Wow.
Bo, do you know about the game?
No.
You don't know about the game? I don't think you want to know, because then it's going to haunt you as long as you live, because you can't unknow it.
All right. Well,
you can know.
Yeah.
There's no hints. You just know it or you don't.
We've been playing the game for a long time.
You can't not play once you know. You literally don't have a choice.
Okay.
So you want to know.
Yeah. So are the only players us?
Nope. Anyone who knows.
Yeah, anyone who knows about it plays it.
Oh, so I just can't tell anyone, and then I always win.
No, that's not how it works.
No?
So here's what happens. The game is, if you think about the game, you lose the game.
Okay.
So you can't win.
That's it. You
That's
literally can't win. And so that's it. If you think about it, you lose. And then what you're supposed to do is tell everyone around you that you lost, so then they all lose too.
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
But what is the game, though?
That's it. Just don't think about the game or else you lose it.
Yeah. So like you'll go long periods of time without thinking about it. Probably not at first. At first, usually most people will lose like 15 times every day. But like if
so
you like
dumb.
if you think
it's so dumb.
I didn't make this up. We learned about this from those dudes in Australia. Remember?
Yeah.
Dude. So like my friend in Australia, him and his friends taught us about this, and then like his brother. I think this is the story. His brother showed up to the bar we were at, and they were like telling us about the game, and his brother sits down and someone said something about it because we'd just been talking about it, and he goes, "God damn it." And then he stood up and he's like, "I haven't lost the game in like 4 years." And he was so mad about it that he left and went home.
Wow.
Like, that was it.
I forgot about that. That man takes his games very seriously.
The Aussies, they're all about it. So yeah, that's it.
But I'm still, but like, so what exactly is the game?
To
Not
not
thinking
think
about the
about the game.
No, but I'm saying, what is the thing that you're not supposed to think about?
Just the game.
That's it. So if anything makes you think about the game, then you lose the game.
I'm so confused
Okay,
right now.
we're moving on.
You're overthinking.
Yeah.
You're overthinking it. So here's the thing: if you think about it and you lose, you're like ha ha ha. As long as you're still thinking about it, like you can't lose again. The next time you lose is when you have stopped thinking about it, and then you think about it again, and then you lose again. Yep, that's it.
I'm super confused. I feel like I
Guys,
am going
guys.
to be I will never be able to lose because I have no idea what I'm supposed to not think about.
In the
But
spirit,
when you think about this conversation, you'll lose.
in the spirit of
Okay.
teaching Beau the rules.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Watch that like 3 nights ago with White Russians, and it was a glorious experience, as it always is.
Hey, so check it out. We have front page on Twitch today, boys, and there are 400 friends hanging with us right now. So hello,
Oh.
everyone. Welcome. A couple things. These are two dear buds of mine, Mr. Ryan Mendez, the lead guitar player of Yellowcard. And long ago, we spent a lot more time together than we spend now, but maybe that's changing. Maybe we're here to change that now that we're both streaming on Twitch. This is my buddy Beau Burchell from Saosin. And
What's up, guys?
And we're here to hang and just talk music and what we got going on and life and memory lane and all that fun stuff. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to give away this handwritten lyric sheet in a little while. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet,
Do it!
because you got to be subscribed to win this. So handwritten Ocean Avenue lyrics for you guys giveaway today. And otherwise, we're just going to hang. So, Beau, what's up, dude?
I was trying to read those lyrics because I love that song.
That's the song.
Do you though?
Dude, so that whole album I love. I mean, obviously, okay, and I've said this before, like everyone kind of like pegs me as like a metalhead, you know, or like I only like screamo or whatever, right?
Post hardcore.
Yeah. But like I love metal and I love like old emo stuff, but like
Real emo, not like the stuff that kids call emo. I'm assuming.
yeah, like before before Saosin, when it was actually emo, you know, like before Jimmy Eat World was popular. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, like given like where you came up in and like all of our ages, I was
talking
assuming
like
you're talking
Sunny
about
Day Real Estate emo.
like
Exactly.
Promise Ring,
Yes,
Sunny
okay.
Day, and
Yeah.
yes, all those.
Yeah, all the classics.
Yes.
But then like I'm just such a huge sucker for ballads. So like you know, like when Only One came out, I was just like, oh dude, that's my jam right there. And like people around me would be like, dude, there's like so much more like kick-ass songs on the album. Like, and that's the one you like? And I'm like, dude, that's my jam. Like when you go off and it's like, there I go. I'm just like, oh, I start crying, you know, I'm just like, oh, this song's so good.
I have like, as with so many things, and Ryan can back me up here, I have like no recollection of writing that song whatsoever. Like I don't
Well, I wasn't.
know.
I wasn't there.
No, I'm not saying you can back me up by telling a story about it. You can back me up in that I don't remember shit ever.
You definitely don't remember
And
stuff.
I don't remember, you know, I feel like stumbling upon that melody that I would have a memory of being like, yeah, so this one day I was sitting there and I wrote, here I go, scream my lungs out, and was
Right.
like, yes, but I don't remember it at all. I don't remember. I remember how we came up with the like concept for the song, which is kind of cool. We were literally just like fucking around with different amps for guitar sounds. And there was an old like Fender Twin with a tremolo, you know, channel in, like tremolo built in. And so I had the trem turned on and just was picking that da 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 da. But I started playing it like
That's like the intro guitar part, right?
So I started playing
Yeah.
that like in the rhythm of the tremolo, so that it was like you couldn't hear the pick attack. It was like doing this cool like whoop 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 whoop, and I was kind of keeping in time and playing, and I was just messing around. Like there was no, but Neil, our producer, was like, we should record that. Let's record that riff. Okay, so he goes in, we mic it up real quick. He goes in, records it. Then at some point we were tracking drums and we had the riff, so we were like, let's mess around with it. The original drums to it were like this. So in the track, you can hear, we ended up changing it to the halftime, you know, once we built out the whole song. But in the verses, you can hear a super filtered drum part that sounds like a loop, but it's actually
Wow.
from the original take that we did for drums for that. And
Wow.
so I basically just had,
So you wrote that song in the studio?
yes, top to bottom, the whole thing.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
All started with that riff that I found on the Fender Trem amp that we were using. I think it was a Fender Twin, but either way, yeah, it was totally random, and I don't remember writing it. I don't remember writing the music. I remember the guitar part thing for sure, and I remember the drums, but I don't remember like building out the rest of the song or playing it. So,
Yeah, that's my tune right there.
And since 2005, it has never been played in the key that it is on the record.
that's true. We played the song full step down every time we play it. We brought the string players back into the studio to retrack all the strings in the key of D instead of the key of E, so that we would have the strings live. Because scream my lungs out at B, and at the end,
You don't want to be ripping those keys every night.
only one. That's an A, and then only one is A B. Like, nah, dude, nope,
Yeah.
not fun.
I'm
even
familiar
even
with
in
that.
D, it's not fun. So,
Well, at the time, it was very fashionable to sing really high.
dude,
that.
I always say that in our line of work, in our genre, I equate it to like skate tricks. It's like the
Right.
higher you could hit a note, the fucking cooler it was. Like, yeah, dude, it's sick. It's higher.
Right.
Hey, anyone
Yeah,
out
I mean-
there watching and listening and starting a band, that's it's the worst idea ever. Just don't do it. Don't think that because you're singing higher, it's cooler. And you'll thank me in 5 years when you're on tour. You'll thank me.
Well, that's why you've got bands now like XX, just kind of like. It's like, I could for sure pull that off live.
That's dude.
I've never heard that band
everything I do now
So
vocally.
loud.
Like, if you listen to any music I'm putting out now, I sing about as loud as I'm talking right now. This is about what I do. and I do that on purpose. Insane Plushy, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, like I've found, you know, but it's not just like, it's not just to avoid, you know, losing my voice every week like I did on tour with Yellowcard for 15 years.
Right.
It's because I think for me, after Yellowcard, when I started making my own music, I honestly think I found my voice for the first time in my life. Like, Yellowcard, those songs were amazing, and it's not like I couldn't do it, but now I know that, like, you know, you can't go back, but could I go back? This is where I should have been singing all along. Like, the range and intensity with which I perform now and record now is 100% what my voice is made to do. It's like, it's not made to do that like super high intensity, loud, belty stuff. Like, I can pull it off and do it, but not super consistently, because my voice just gets so tired, man, no matter how much I take care of it. Like, I've done it all, right? I've done tours where I was a complete asshole and I was drinking every night and not taking care of anything. And then I've done tours where I like didn't go outside for the entire tour. And I honestly feel like my voice reacts the same both to both. It just doesn't, it's the singing. It's not the extracurricular activities. Like, my vocal cords are just not stoked on that super intense, loud singing, you know? So
I think it did get better once we started tuning to drop C on the last couple of records.
Yeah.
And you obviously literally weren't singing as high. It like you didn't have nearly as many issues when you were singing those songs.
yeah, and I was able to do, well, not able, but I chose to do more like falsetto and stuff on the last couple records that allowed, when it was time to go into that super stratosphere register, to just not tear my voice up, you know?
Bo, I have a quick story about a ballad, because you said the word ballad, that you love ballads. So-
Any ballad, I just absolutely love.
So we were making our album Paper Walls in 2007, early 2007. At some point, Mr. Louis Bandak comes into the studio
Yeah.
while we're recording, and I was asking him about your guys' record. I was like, how's it going, you know? Because when did you guys record? At the very end of 06, or was it the beginning of it was
It was like the end of 2005, I think.
for your self-titled?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe he had come to a show and was telling me about it Been before then.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was like, they wrote a ballad. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like a full on ballad. And I was like, because I have been a fan of your band like since the first EP. And I was like, a ballad?
Right.
I'm really interested. And he was like, yeah, like he I think he said like, yeah, you know, like full on like Boys to Men style harmonies and like full like massive ballad. And he was like really pumped on it. And like I was super, super interested. And that's the end of the story. It's really not that long of a story. But I was like, man, I'm really, really excited to hear this ballad. Oh yeah, that song. Come on.
Come on.
Absolute banger.
We were
Well, that was us trying. That was us trying to write our only one.
Yeah, well, you did it. Where were
You
where were
definitely
we?
did it.
We
That's
had
all
to
I'm
have been together or something when we heard that song.
We were on the bus, like when, like I think we were on the bus, and we're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I remember
what
like
an
a jaw on the floor listening experience where we were
definitely.
like, "What is this song?"
Yes,
Oh, it's so cool.
yeah, dude. Yes, absolutely.
So
Talk about singing high, both of those guys. Come
Yeah, that-
on,
Ooh, man.
so
Yeah.
unfair.
So when we tour now, like Anthony is our singer, and Anthony doesn't really have a good time playing like the Cove era songs. And honestly, I think that his voice just isn't geared for it. You know what I mean? They just kind of have two different styles. But whenever we play Voices and You're Not Alone live, Chris and I sing the whole song, and then we put Anthony on bass. So it's like it's super fun. So like, because I wish I was a lead singer, but like I just can't play guitar and sing it well enough at the same time.
Well,
but for a song like You're Not Alone, it's so simple that I can actually sing and play it. So like I sing the choruses and Chris sings the verses, and we split it up that way, and it's like so much fun.
so
That rules.
it's interesting that you would like to be a lead singer because someday Josh Portman, bass player for Yellowcard, myself, and I believe Mr. Mendez as well would be included in this, want to do like a Deftones-y kind of like heavy, just for fun, you know, EP or something. And I don't want to sing that shit, so you're hired.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if I can do cool lead singing. Like, I feel like I can do.
You have an audition at least then.
Okay, all right.
Because we need a singer, and you can probably you can get like grit in your voice, right? Like you can do like screamy stuff, right? With
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you're hired. You're hired.
Okay.
There's no like who's like, oh yeah, you'll audition. We'll get back to you for sure.
Yeah, you're hired.
Okay.
Hey, I meant to do this, and I haven't since we started. But everyone who's watching right now, by the way, over 500 friends here hanging out. Thank you guys so much for being here. A couple logistic Twitch-related things. One, if you just got here, I'm giving away a sheet of handwritten Ocean Avenue lyrics today on the stream. It is a subscriber-only giveaway, so if you have not subscribed to the channel,
by order of the Peaky Blinders,
get subscribed, and you can win at, let's see, it's gonna be about an hour and a half from now. But also very important here, Beau is on Twitch. We haven't covered that yet. You're on Twitch, and I wanna like put the, you know, we wanna promote that in the chat and tell everybody what's going on with your Twitch channel, because everybody's here on my Twitch channel, but we want to send people over to yours. So what's
Awesome.
what have you been doing, and what's the vibe over there?
I have some stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about yet for the future.
All right.
But basically, my stream is pretty much just like an IRL kind of thing. So if you're like, I stream. Let's see. Last week I did mixing singles and EPs for real bands. You know, and it's like I literally start with like, here's the files they sent me. Like, this is why they sent, like, this is why I hate Google Drive, you know, or like, this is why this,
Yeah.
or it's like, see how they labeled these files. It's like, I mean, it's more of a stream for like engineers and producers rather
people.
than like the what?
Production people.
Oh yeah. It's like a full on like nerd fest. You know, I go into like,
So it's very similar to what I'm doing. Just like
probably,
as you
yeah,
say, like
yeah.
IRL production. So like if you're interested in watching how songs get made, or in your case how
Yeah.
they get mixed, you can tune in and watch. I think it's an interesting thing on Twitch that you and I, as far as I mean, I've investigated and asked around, and I think there may be a couple of hip hop producers that are actually making, tracks for release and stuff, but you and I are like the only people on Twitch that are doing what you're talking about, that are like actually doing, I call it sort of like functional production, like a lot of music production streamers, I think, do more sort of like chat involved, like just for fun stuff, which sorry, real quick, unprotected sax, thanks for the sub and for your amazing name. That's so good. So I think, we're doing this production that's like not just for fun, and I think that it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like super informative for people who want to tune in and learn and watch and see like what our process is, but it also can be a little counterintuitive to Twitch because you get like super in the zone working on your track and you're not doing all of the like Twitch stuff, you're looking over at chat or at whatever and being like, oh shit, I got 10 subs 30 minutes ago and I forgot to look.
Right.
So it's been a really kind of interesting learning curve for me to like figure out how to be engaged in the track I'm working on, because this shit's getting released to the world. Like, these are my actual records I'm putting out. But also staying engaged with chat and what's happening in the feed and stuff. So I don't know, how you've navigated that, but it's definitely been a learning process for me.
Yeah, sometimes I unintentionally ignore the chat. If you get in that, if you get in that zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do actual work, of course,
Yep.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
It's tricky.
But I kind of treat it like because it's mixing. There's not really a ton that has to do with like when you're creating, you're so like in that zone and you have to block everything out.
Yep.
But with mixing, it's more of a thing where it's like, I'm working on how this sounds. I'll fix something. And then somebody says something and it's like, oh, great, I could use a little ear break anyways. Let's talk. You know? So I kind of treat the chat like they are the band sitting in the back of the room. And it's like, hey, Beau, why did you put the reverb on that or whatever? And then I answer and talk about it. And it takes me, what would normally take me 2 hours to mix a song.
Yeah.
Like I'll stream it. I stream it for 7 hours.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, it's a long process now.
I was gonna say that like that probably makes for like a good sort of like half-forced ear break. That's like something that I always struggle with in mixing, is just losing perspective because you go too deep down a hole on something, and like just you never hear as clearly as like when you load up the session the first time in the day and you listen to it for the first time. You're like, okay, and then like within minutes you're just like, okay, I've lost where I am.
Yeah.
So like I feel like being constantly like half distracted is probably a really good thing. And also sometimes when you hear something and you're not listening to it and you're paying attention to something else, then something will totally stand out at you that needs adjusting. So it's actually probably pretty good for that.
I'm also finding that like a lot of, I mean, obviously it's like so nerd oriented. Like most of the people in my chat are engineers themselves. So like there's even been a few times where like I'm like, I kind of hate this thing because it does this, and then someone in chat is like, well, actually, if you go like this is how it's done, and I'm like, that's so sick. You just taught me something. Yes, like, so I've been like really loving it, and obviously too, like, there was I had to take like a week off. I was mixing this Dead Sarah album, and obviously like they wouldn't let me put that on stream. So it's like sometimes I have to kind of like move the schedule around and get clearance from the bands to work on the stuff live. But thankfully everyone's been cool. Like yesterday I had a band, or Friday, I was mixing a band called Ages, and like the singer came on and was talking about, I'm like, if you guys have any production questions, you can ask the singer, but I'm just dealing with the mixing, So it was cool to be able to learn like, what guitars did you use, or what were the drums tracked or whatever. So it's really cool. I mean, it's just so nerdy and dorky. I'm kind of going for like the Gerald Undone of audio kind of vibe. So if you're familiar with him on YouTube with camera stuff, it's kind of that.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of, I'm going to ask you a stream related question. Speaking of cameras, what camera are you using and what lens are you using? Because it looks really freaking good.
Okay, so this camera here that I have using now, this is like my B camera, I guess, and it's just a crappy Canon M50.
Okay.
Wow.
But it's got the Sigma 18-35 on it.
Okay.
So usually this camera is over here.
You're at 18 though right now, right?
That's more like a
Like it's
maybe
pretty
like
wide because this is a 24 that's on me right now. Not
Yeah.
that you're seeing. You're seeing a webcam for Zoom, but on stream that's
Right.
a 24.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But you're like right up on it though.
It's
It also depends on if
it's farther than arm's length away from me.
Oh, okay, so mine's like 6 feet away.
Yeah,
But
mine's,
also if his
mine's
camera
probably
isn't-
4.
Okay.
if his Canon isn't full frame, that totally affects the.
Yeah,
the-
so it's a
My
crop.
Sony's not full frame either though, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably
then, like,
cropping this 24, right, and making it smaller.
So this one here is a 35.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
makes sense.
That's a Sigma 35 on the A7C. And then this one here is A7S2 with the 24 to 70.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and then this one is just the M50. Usually that camera's kind of like over here, but for the zoom, I moved it over here so I wouldn't be like talking to the camera like this,
Right.
Because my screen is here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have. So this one in the middle is like above my main monitor, and then I have another one that I'm not using right now. I don't even know if I can. Well, here you could see it on the stream if I switch to it like this. So that's a full frame my Sony A7 with 1635. Yeah, 1635, and I'm pretty wide out. So I'm probably
Yeah.
somewhere between 16 and 20 on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the one in the middle it's like everyone's like, no, it's good because it's it's really like shows your face, it's good, but I feel like it's
Right.
just like up in my grill. It bums me out sometimes. But I
Yeah,
don't-
so that's why I like this view a lot. Like this quad view.
yeah. I
I like that
probably
one a
should
lot.
set one of those up.
Yeah. But the problem is then people are like, I can't see you big enough. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you're on your phone, you can just pinch in, and then each one of those can be full screen.
Right.
You know, so
How do you
But I feel-
what are you using to make it do that effect where it's like spreading the cameras out?
oh the like the way like the motion, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just an OBS motion plugin.
You're smart. You're a smart guy. I thought I had all this shit figured out, but look at you.
I'm working on it. I can show you how to do it. It's really easy.
But is your studio just home, at your house?
Yeah.
In your home?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
So it's
attached?
it's a 3-car garage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I'm lucky. I have like 9-foot ceilings.
He has he has so much gear. Go to the gear cam again. Look at this shit, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see it like, yeah.
Oh yeah, this one.
Come on. Who are you?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I make records, guys.
hit records.
I mean, but that's the thing, it's like, and there is a little bit of, whoops, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Side,
Hold on.
that's
I got to catch up real quick. Tal, thanks for that gift sub. Tabsky, thanks for the 6-month sub. And Corey, thanks for 5 gift subs. We got a hype train
May the force
going.
be with you.
I think I know what
hell.
song I have to play today if we hit level 5.
Oh,
So-
only one.
Yeah, that's
No, you're going to play
apparently
You're Not
that's the
Alone
one.
by Samson. Come on.
Well, so normally I could do that because a lot of times, another thing that's fun about my Twitch stream is that I don't know any songs, even Yellowcard songs. I don't know them. So like my brain is so bad at jukebox playing, like it's just awful. So whenever I don't do live music on the channel, but I do a thing where if I complete a hype train, I'll play a song. But that is sort of morphed into I will learn / play a song. So we
Right.
hang out while I get the lyrics up on the internet and listen to the song and then change the key of the song. And then, so it's,
I usually help you out with it a little bit if I'm here.
if you're here, you do
I'll
help.
be like, let's throw on chord.
Well, my favorite thing has got to be if you ever go through and watch all the songs as I've played them, how many times you would be like, that's completely wrong. That's not the chord that's being played there whatsoever. Like Ryan
I'm
was
the same way.
in the band, like on tour. Ryan was always, and he was always super kind. It was never like an annoying thing. It was always like, oh, thank you. But he was always the one who would come over after sound check. And it was funny sometimes because wasn't super assertive about it. You'd be kind of like, I don't know if you don't have to do it that way, but you're doing it wrong.
Well, it's sometimes you don't know, are you
that
just changing it to have fun?
That melody, it's not. Maybe you're just changing it because you want to, I would always be like, no, dude, I want to do it right. So tell me, Hawkster, thanks for the gifts sub.
Yeah.
May the force be with you.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll like try to do guitar playthrough stuff, and I'm like, guys, like, I don't like practice these songs like ever.
ever,
You know, like-
ever. And I've
And it's
changed
like
the
our-
key of all of mine now. Like
Right.
I play all these Yellowcard songs capo all over the fucking place so that I can sing them, you know, super down
Right.
low and breathy like I, you know, and like mellow like I do now. So, and even within that, I forget. But last month maybe I played, you know, this song I played in Dadgad Capo 4. I don't remember
Right.
that. You know, Keith, 20 gift subs. Holy shit.
Yo, hype train achieved.
Here we go.
Oh shit, what?
You know what, big boy? You're grown up.
You guys are not going to
So
regret this.
sick.
You get so much more activities done.
I have to play a song, but I got to get a water. Give me a second.
Okay.
This one's for you, Bo.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Did I get a private serenade right now? I feel like this is like a real concert.
This is great. You're talking about your guitar playthrough stuff. I've had to do some of the same stuff. I've been like doing online guitar lessons for the last year. And sometimes people will be like, hey, show me this song. And I'll be like, let me remember it first. Or like,
Yeah.
let me look up the tempo of it. Or like, what key is, I mean, usually the key is fine. But like, sometimes I have to just pull it up on Spotify and be like, I think this is the riff. Because it's like,
Yeah.
But
we don't
you
just
remember-
play all of
you
our
remember
songs
stuff
every day.
you remember stuff so much faster than I do. It's like,
but still, it's like, it's been literally years since I've played some of the songs. For sure. I'm sure it's the same way with you. So.
Yeah. And there's a lot that like, you know, because as you get like a couple albums, I mean, you guys have way more albums than us, but like, you're like, okay, cool. Well, I only really know like 3 songs off of this album that I can
Your
remember.
set list of songs, yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be like a couple from, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
All right, I'll be quiet
well, I'm
so I
gonna
can
have
listen
to
to my.
switch, I think, to the camera angle where you can see the guitar, and you guys won't be there for a minute, so you can just kick back and enjoy.
No, I just want it to be a close up on your face.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, we don't need to see the guitar. We just need to see your face.
Just sing it a cappella.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what everyone wants to hear. I love
They
singing.
have the pitch pipe.
Have you
choose
ever?
and go.
Has anyone ever heard about how much I love to sing? It's my
Do you
favorite
hate
activity.
singing?
Dude, I hate it. It was for real. Apocalypse, thank you so much for the follow. Honest to God, least favorite part of my job.
If
Now,
I
look,
had your
not
voice,
complaining.
I would.
Not complaining. I have an amazing job. I've had a charmed life, and I've loved being in a band, but of all the things about being in a band, singing was by far my least favorite thing. But we kind of covered that when we first started talking today. Like my vocal cords are just, and Ryan can attest to this. Like my vocal cords are just wimpy little brats that they do not cooperate at all. And so when you're expected to be on tour 8 months a year, singing 5 nights a week, this song I'm about to play at full volume, full voice every night, I just don't have the endurance that some vocalists have, and it was really frustrating. And I got better as the years went on with dealing with it, but like early on when I was younger, it would fuck me up on the road, like attitude wise and everything else, you know, because like I got so insecure about it, which would then make me angry, which would cause me to like drink more because I was pissed, and then that would hurt my voice even more. It was like just an endless cycle of kind of insecurity over my voice. And so I think I don't know, early on I wasn't feeling it. So I worked really hard on it as I got older, and I think became a much better vocalist, but I still dealt with even when I was, as I said, like taking care of myself and like not drinking and not, you know, like going to bed early and not going out to bars and talking and stuff on tour. Even then I still struggled with losing my voice quite a bit. So it's never been easy for me. All right, this is just because I have an agreement with chat that I play a song when we hit a hype train. So thank you guys so much for the hype train. Outlaw, thanks for the resub. And let me see if I can
Here's Miles Apart.
I've played Miles Apart a bunch on stream now that I have changed the key and
More
stuff.
than once?
Yeah, like
That's
4
funny.
times probably. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here's guitar angle. Ryan and Bo are still here. They're just not in this scene because I could add it, I guess. All right, here we go. I can't pick up the pieces, and I've thrown my words all around, but I can't give you a reason. I feel so broken up. I give up. I give up. I just wanna tell you so you know. Here I go, scream my lungs out and try to get to you. You are my only one. I let go, but there's just no one that gets me like you do. You are my only one.
Oh, killing it on the background vocals.
Made my mistakes, let you down, and I can't hold on for too long. I ran my whole life in the ground, but I can't get up when you're gone. Something's breaking up. I feel like giving up. I won't walk out until you know. Here I go, scream my lungs out and try to get to you. You are my only one. I let go, but there's just no one that gets me like you do. You are my only one. Here I go, so dishonestly, I leave a note for you, my only one. And I know you can see right through me, so let me go, and you will find someone. Here I go, scream my lungs out and try to get to you. You are my only one. I let go, but there's just no one like you. You are my only one. My only one. My only one. My only one. You are my only one.
Resolve to the major one at the end.
Change it up.
Good for you. Good for you.
Dude, is that
Thanks for the hype train, friends.
was that like half step? What do you call that? Like
Yes.
accidental? Was that always there?
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
like
that's in there.
The chromatic walk up.
yeah.
Yeah, that's in there.
Okay.
Like it's in the album version of the
Yeah,
song.
it's in the. It's on the song.
Okay. I never noticed it as much as this nice little intimate setting here.
Well, there you go.
That was sick, dude.
I like getting intimate with you, you know?
Great work. Great work.
Guys, let's just check this out really quick. I just got a follow from 69 Lovemaking 69 182.
Oh,
I
so close
love
to
that.
perfection. If it was just 420 at the end instead of 182, then there would never be a better name.
Those are like some early 90s AOL screen names.
I'm going to say it
Absolutely.
again. See, he said screen names too, chat.
What? What the hell? What? As opposed
Grandpas
to what?
unite. Boomer, grandpa,
As opposed-
whatever you want to call us. I still, by the way, I still don't know what the right word for Twitch is. But I said screen
they
name
say?
once and everyone was like, okay, grandpa, screen names.
What's this supposed to be?
I don't know.
Oh, handle.
I say name.
But they're all saying
I just say
they're all
name
different-
now. I just
they're
say
saying
name.
different shit.
So let's
Yeah.
How
just
about-
cover this really quick because I'm gonna do it. I want to say it again. 69 love making 69 182. Thanks for the follow, and also cup of noodle. Thanks for the follow.
That's solid too. That's good.
The
That's
best,
wholesome.
my best follower, the best name of any follower I have though is Lick
I
Manoots,
know what you're gonna say.
and it's
Yep, I knew you were gonna-
it's LIQMAHNOOTS. Lick Manoots.
So,
It's my favorite one. If you're here today, Lick, I'm giving you
Lick.
some love.
Mr. Manoots. Mr. Manoots.
Hello,
Oh.
it's Manoots, Mr. Manoots, Lick Manoots.
Dude, I just
Amazing.
realized, I just came across the idea that I am what's called exennial.
Exennial.
familiar with that
Well,
term?
what, as far as
Yeah.
like the year you were born?
Yeah, so I'm like, so there's Generation X, and then there's millennials, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And then there's this little overlapping of like 5 years, that
Which is what?
overlaps in between those. It's like 75 to 85.
Yeah,
That's
because
10 years.
I'm 79, so I've
Yeah,
always sort of considered myself Gen X. You know?
Yeah, so we are technically Gen X, but if you fall within the 75, maybe it's 75 to 85. If you fall within that window, they call you exennials, which is basically
I hate that with everything in my body. I hate it.
Oh, totally. Well, but the thing is, here's the reason why. Because we don't necessarily identify as Gen X, and we also don't really, or we don't have the characteristics of Gen X or millennials. We grew up with like an analog childhood
Yeah.
and then migrated over to all digital.
Right.
Whereas like millennials just grew up digital.
Yep.
You know. So anyway, I found it interesting.
And a
'cause
lot of Gen Xers are like still kind of like need a flip phone, you know?
Oh,
like,
totally. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're
Like-
borderline boomers.
Yes.
You know. But I mean, like on my stream too, I call myself a boomer as well. Because it's just like, dude, boomer tries to run equipment. You know what I mean? You're just like, dude, like who gave us the authority to run this gear?
half of my stream is me not being able to run my gear. That's half the
Totally.
fun of watching is what's gonna break today.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing is though is like a lot of people that I know that are on the border, like you're talking about, like will very clearly lean one way or the other with how they like, you know, how they feel like they
Yeah.
identify. Like for me, I identify way more as X. I don't feel millennial at all, and just because of the common characteristics. But I know people that do legitimately feel pulled between, and some. I don't know anyone that is X that is like, I don't feel X at all. I'm only millennial. Like it's always like X or a little bit of both for me.
Yeah.
I
I just found it.
I
just found it
mostly think,
interesting.
I'm just old. That's really I'm just old. Like
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
a dinosaur, man. We were born in the
Yeah,
I was born in
dude.
the 70s. How is that
Yeah.
real?
Not me. Have fun with that decade. That's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we embrace it now.
Sometimes it's cool. Like it it's like talk about like a boomer thing. It feels cool as you get older, I think, even to be like, oh yeah, I was born in the 70s. Like there's like this like legacy thing where you're like,
Yeah.
what do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, even though it was,
I'm
it was
so
like, hey,
disco. What do you know?
it was December of 79, but still, I was born in the 70s. You know?
I made it by 2 weeks, bro. I made it by 2 weeks.
Barely. Absolutely.
I
Like kids these days.
give me 1 sec.
Kids
guys.
these days are
talk
like,
amongst yourselves.
anyone older than me is a boomer. Like anyone older than me is a boomer. Just a boomer just means anyone older than whatever, 18-year-old kid. And it's like, that like those terms, like they actually have meaning.
Right.
Like there's definitions, like it's funny.
Well, that's part of the reason why I looked it up, because I was just like, gosh, like there's so many things in life that like I just have never cared about. So
Yeah.
I've never bothered to actually research them. And like for whatever reason, like we were out at a winery the other day, and it was just like, oh, like boomer or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I wonder what I am. And I just like Googled it, and then it started us all. Everyone around was kind of like, oh, what are you? What are you? And it was like super weird.
Do you think that's one of those things? Because I get this all the time, where I've looked it up like 50 times and I still forget the answer. Do you have those in your life? Where you're like,
well, yeah, because it's just
you're
not
like,
important.
what
to
am
us.
I? I know I've looked this up before and I still don't remember. That happens to me all the time. I just know.
Like we just don't care.
I had to go.
You know what I know?
I had to go. Sorry, I left. I had to tissue. I realized it looked like I was picking my nose on stream because my nose is kind of feeling a little runny. Sorry about that. I looked up that stream is on delay. You know, on my screen. Like I'm not watching it in Streamlabs. I just see it on Safari. So I looked over and I'm like, you should probably take care of that.
Oh, dude, can we get a little nerdy for a second? Like,
yeah, but Ryan, what were you gonna say?
No, it's no big deal. I was just gonna say, you know what we're not is we're not boomers. We are definitely not boomers. And so like that's why it's funny to me when like younger kids are like, oh, boomer. I'm like, dude, actually, like I kind of hate boomers. Like I hate so much of the most like stereotypical behavior of boomers that like I definitely know that we are not boomers for sure.
No, we're not.
I know.
Boomers are like 50s and right. That's
older.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
for sure.
I mean, they were born in the 50s.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, what were you gonna say?
You want to get nerdy?
Bo, you said you want to get nerdy.
Oh yeah, so like you said, and I apologize if guys, if I suck and I'm too boring, just tell Ryan, and then he'll move on.
No, dude, we're this is our front page day is our hangout today.
Okay, all right. I know, but I don't want
Bro,
if you're like, yo, dude, Bo's like the most boring, nerdiest guy, like front page. Oh my gosh.
No,
stream. I promise we're not this boring.
We've been chilling like 600 plus for a while now. People are stoked to see you.
So how are you running your? So you said you monitor your stream from the web. You don't monitor it from like your streaming software?
I have my streaming software in performance mode so that it doesn't get laggy. I found that so my streaming PC is a laptop, is a MacBook. It's a really powerful one, but I found that if I leave Streamlabs fully running for too long, it gets pretty laggy. I think Streamlabs is a it's a pretty heavy program from what I've been told. Like it's pretty intense on your computer. So we were actually talking about, do you use Streamlabs or use OBS?
So I use OBS.
Okay. So when I'm thinking about trying to move over to just streaming, we were talking about this a little bit before we started stream, to just streaming from one computer. Like I think it can handle it. I just don't know if it's going to handle Streamlabs versus handling OBS, which is a less intensive program, I think, and it basically does the same stuff. Streamlabs is just so integrated, with Twitch and all the functionality of Twitch, which is great. So I'm going to try Streamlabs first and see what my computer thinks. I don't know if there's a lot of reasons, like it's like having to run the second machine, and if it like there's so many variables there, and the amount of routing I have to do to get Pro Tools properly out over one cable, like over the capture card, versus if it was all being streamed in the same machine, I can set virtual inputs on that machine and physically select them in Streamlabs. So like right now, my microphone is on an aux that I have to have routed so crazy in Pro Tools so that I don't hear it back, but you hear it and Stream hears it. So the routing is just crazy, and it really does fuck with the gain structure of the mic too. So I can't like get it actually where I want it level wise without pinning it and shit. So if I was streaming on the same computer that I'm working on as opposed to a second one, I could just make a track for this mic, set a virtual input for it, and select the actual microphone itself alone in Streamlabs and set the level of it. As opposed to right now, everything is going over one cable to get to the second PC. So I don't know. The only anomaly is whether or not when I start pressing play in Pro Tools, if the computer's like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do both of those things. But most people stream from one computer. So I think I'll be fine. I think it's time to try and switch it over because the two PC setup has been an absolute nightmare.
Hey guys, just want to let you know I'm totally just going to go to the bathroom while you talk about this shit.
Okay, cool. We'll see you later. Mendez is coming back, everybody, so don't go anywhere.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Let's see. The beat to. Wait. Wow. The beat to Conksy the Best Boy. Did I get that right? Thanks for the follow. That's a long one. That's a long screen name.
Do your viewers have any questions for us or anything? Do you want to open it up to a Q&A thing?
I think we should. And when Ryan gets back, we can keep going with that. But yeah. I think that's cool. I was gonna say before we do that, just if you wanted to, I think you kind of already did. But like, if there's anything you're working on specifically that you want people to know about, like, is there new Saosin? Is there, what, like, anything like that? I think would be cool, and then we could take some questions.
Yeah, there is some new Saosin stuff on the horizon. I've got like, let's see here. So I can show you this.
Oh yeah, remind me that Ryan and I were gonna play you our movie trailer cue that we have done.
Way!
Just to make you laugh. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so fucking cool.
Dude, you want to hear some trailer stuff that I've done?
Of course.
I can play it. Actually, here, I'll send you a link in chat because it'll probably be better if you play it from yours.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Text it to the the group text.
Yeah.
Mikey asking, you prefer Mac for streaming? All I will say is that it just was easier. Like everything just kind of worked better with the Mac. So again, I don't know, like streaming PC, I have a PC that I game on, and I have streamed from that same machine, and it's been fine. But yeah, with this two PC setup, it's been way easier to use the Mac. I don't know why. The audio was just a nightmare. Let me try to say this in the least confusing way possible. Trying to use a PC, a Windows machine, as the streaming PC, so not my Pro Tools PC, not my Pro Tools computer, the audio routing was just like crazy, and we could never get it to work, even though it's doing exactly the same thing that the MacBook is doing. So I switched over to MacBook, and it's been no problem. Well, we've had plenty of problems, but I just mean that, like, we weren't getting any of the same issues we had on the PC. Most of the problems I've had have not been with the Mac itself and the software, the Streamlabs software. It's been with like routing and Pro Tools and stuff. So, Crease, thanks so much for the sub.
May the force be with you.
Reminder, everybody, I'm going to be giving away a copy of these. I guess it's a copy, but it is handwritten Ocean Avenue lyrics. So it's not like printed. I actually wrote this out. Giving this away in a little under an hour. Got to be subscribed to the channel to enter, but get subscribed and type raffle in the chat, and you get a chance to win.
Do it!
Oh,
Yo.
I want to talk nerdy mixing stuff with you.
Okay.
Well, we were gonna open up.
Okay.
We were gonna open up chat, like some questions for chat,
Yes.
because we have about 50 minutes left. So I'm thinking we could do that right now, since we're kind of dead in the middle, and then talk shop at the end. Wait, is that like the Foxies? Like my friends, the Foxies? Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. Guys, check out the Foxies. I went to see them 3 nights ago here in Nashville, and the show was so sick. So whether this is my friends, the Foxies, that are in chat or not, welcome this Foxies if I'm wrong. And if not, check out the Foxies, the band. They're awesome.
You went to a show?
I went to 2 shows this weekend. I went to the Foxies, and I went to Bayside.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I just can't imagine going to a show.
I mean, I had
It's
to
been a
show
long time.
had to show my Vax card and all that to get in. So
The last show I was at was with you, actually. I think was when we saw Tycho.
Oh,
That
Tycho.
would be tight.
Dude, it was unreal. The
Yeah,
Wilton.
they're the best.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
all right, so let's chat. There's still like 500 people here. Hello everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out. And the 3 of us are down to just chill and take some questions. So someone just asked any plans of like a B-side unreleased thing. Not right now, no. I assume you're talking about Yellowcard stuff. there's certainly no Yellowcard releases on the horizon. So unfortunately, no. Yeah, if your question doesn't get answered, just keep posting it until we answer it, because it's hard to.
Blink 182 part of your musical influence? Did you ever listen to them, Ryan? Did you ever listen to Blink?
The self-titled Blink album is one of my all-time favorite rock and roll records ever. I was late to the party though. Like I didn't really get into Enema of the State. I got into Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, but then the self-titled was like, that was just my jam. It was so different, and I don't know. I loved like the kind of new direction of the guitar tones and the riffs and stuff. I don't know. I just loved it, dude.
First song on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, probably top 3 favorite snares of all time.
Yeah, dude,
on any
Anthem.
record.
That song is so good.
Anthem.
Did they find the missing girl from the Bayside show? I didn't even know that was a thing, but I hope she's okay. I saw Bayside at Brooklyn Bowl here in Nashville.
No, there's a Brooklyn Bowl.
Pineapple on Pizza, we've talked about on my stream for 1,000 years. I think we've already covered that.
Wait, I don't even know where you fall on that.
What, Pineapple on Pizza? It's fine, but I would never choose it. You know
Oh.
what I mean? Jess, I do put ketchup on my mac and cheese. I do that.
Oh.
Yep. So
Wait, I want to hear
somebody
Beau's
else
Pineapple
knows.
Pizza.
Yeah, Pineapple Pizza, Beau.
Oh, so I am not down with like Hawaiian pizza.
Yep.
But I do like pineapple on pizza if I'm going for. So there's this pizza spot by my house where you can kind of like, they have all these different sauces. So like I'll do, every once in a while I'll do a custom pizza where it's like regular bread with like garlic butter around the outside, and then regular red sauce with barbecue sauce, and then a layer of cheese, pepperoni, bell peppers, jalapenos, and then a little bit of pineapple to kind of sweeten out some of that. So that would be like my weird scenario. But other than that, Hawaiian pizza makes me do that sound.
I would absolutely crush that pizza.
You lost me at bell peppers. I stopped listening.
Oh, you don't like bell peppers?
Oh my god.
Like onions and peppers are like his like most hated things.
So okay, so do you like fajitas, or is that just like heck no?
You
Like
just want those vegetables.
I don't have a problem with vegetables, onions and bell peppers.
Those vegetables.
Yeah.
Yes.
So fajitas are pretty much a no-go for me. Yeah.
Oh wow, see, I love fajitas too.
I hated onions like so much until I was probably like 23, 24, and then just instantly started loving them out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
The problem for me with onions and bell peppers both is whatever I'm eating becomes only an onion or a bell pepper. I can't taste anything else in the dish, and it drives me crazy.
That's how I am. Now I don't do this all the time, but on the rare occasion that I do a Taco Bell bean and cheese burrito,
Okay.
those onions on there will ruin the entire burrito
Bro,
for me.
Since I was 16 years old and going through the drive-thru at Taco Bell all by myself 10 times a day, because there was one like half a mile from my high school. All caps, no onions, no onions. Since I was a child.
Yeah, they will ruin the burrito for me.
The thing is like what really ruins the burrito though is the fact that it's coming from Taco Bell. That's really what ruins the burrito.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's kind of like you're expecting it. It's like you're not going there to get a good burrito.
No,
but it's
I
like
know, I'm just joking.
Ryan, we all haven't. Everyone hasn't had to make that noise I just played on stream for like 12 hours or whatever from the worst food poisoning of our life from Taco Bell
For weeks. Yes.
Yeah, so we
That
don't
was me.
have that same hatred
For
of
like
it.
literally like 2 weeks. That
Taco
was the
Bell is
worst food
still
poisoning.
very much like it's super late at night and I'm thinking, God, what's open? And then my brain goes,
Oh my god.
because I remember that I can run for the border and everything is going to be fine.
Run for the border. Oh my god. Okay, just to circle back real quick. Pineapples. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'll eat them. I don't care
That's what
if they're
I said.
not there.
I
I'm not
wouldn't
like,
choose it.
I'm like one or the other. I don't care. Pepperoni pineapple is a legit combo for real. A lot of my friends are all about that.
but it's got to be light pineapple though. Too much pineapple is too much for me. It's just sparse. You know, I also like pineapple in poke bowls.
Yeah.
Hey,
For sure.
we have a ongoing thing here in the chat because one of the weirdo, everyone in my chat that's regular,
yes.
they're
I know
all
where this is
weirdos,
going.
and they're fine with me calling them weirdos. Like we're just the weirdos chat. But one
Yeah.
of the weirdos, one of the most regular, most supportive weirdos, puts nacho cheese on his Oreos.
We got face.
Human
Yep, that's the
sacrifice,
face.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
That's what I think that is.
Don't give that person your address.
I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
So, okay, we have an answer there. There was a bunch of questions, and we just we just talked about pizza and Oreos. The Bugman, thanks for the Prime sub.
May the force
Yeah,
be with
I
you.
would try it, and I will.
You guys know you can use your Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe to the channel for free. If you haven't used it on someone else's channel, use it for mine. Also, it's September. Did you get Bo? You know about this September?
I've heard about it.
All subs are 20% off. So if you gift them or if you want to enter this raffle or whatever, it's cheaper for the entire month of September. That said, also before I forget this, while we have a lot of people here, 420 viewers. Nice.
Oh,
Perfect
Nice. Nice.
Far out.
We hit the sub goal for to listen to Southern Air.
Oh, nice.
So Rye, are you free on Monday or did we already the 27th? Did we schedule it for that? Did we already do that?
That works. for me.
Mara, did we already? I feel like we had 2 front pages scheduled already. Either way, we're going to announce that really soon, the date of it, but we're going to do a track by track listen through for Southern Air. And so I started the stream goal today for Lift to Sail. I made it a little shorter, like the time to hit the goal because of September. So I want to try to hit it by the end of the month. Big Red Dog, thanks for the gift sub. Mr. Chubb, thank you for the gift sub. You guys are the best.
May the force be with you.
So yeah, got another sub goal going today. Subs are on sale. Sub to the channel.
Do it!
Anyways, questions. I saw someone ask if any one of us were doing any Emo Night Brooklyns. I'm actually next weekend or next Thursday going to be in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Fillmore with Emo Night Brooklyn. Should be a good one. Show always goes off there. But yo, if you had a question and we missed it, post it again because we talked about pizza and onions for a long time.
Someone asked why we made acoustic versions of When You're Through Thinking and Ocean Avenue, but none of the other records. I don't know how I would answer that.
I mean, time, resources.
Yeah, just
it was the schedule.
situation.
The schedule opened up for us to be able to do it at that time, you know, and like it was just we wanted to put something out. I don't think. I mean, like, there's not enough time in the world to just go do acoustic versions of every single album you ever made, you know. So.
Yeah. Were Yellowcard and Saosin ever presented the opportunity to tour together back in the Capitol Records days? Didn't you guys tour together?
Tour
before I was
together.
in- Yeah, right?
Pre-capital.
Pre-Capitol, yeah.
It was pre-capital for you, but not for us, right?
No, we were just trying to be like you. We were following in your footsteps. We were like, how can we
but
be
I
more
mean,
like
wait,
you?
What year was it? Do you remember? It was.
Yeah, it must have been like 2003.
Yeah, I think it was one of the it was one of the like smaller Ocean Avenue headline things we did, like not the big something corporate tour. Again, dude, my memory, it's just like not.
Oh, no, we're about to get the definitive answer from Bree right now.
There we go.
Also,
Our friend
I
Brebo
love-
will answer in chat exactly how many times any song has ever been played live. It's very helpful.
Oh, amazing. Dude, I love something corporate so much.
Yeah, dude. Kavanaugh Park, come on.
Yeah.
What a jam. So yeah, we did tour together and it was debaucherous. We were wild on that tour.
We were
I've heard
young.
stories. I heard stories.
We did some we had a few cocktails on the run.
Like,
Yeah.
A few.
like some nights you drank like 4 beers instead of 3 beers. That's what you mean?
Yeah. Some nights.
Yeah.
Hey, will you guys keep fielding questions while I take a quick water closet break?
Someone asked me about pick designs.
If you guys-
I haven't made new picks in a long time. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say, don't go anywhere.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I haven't made new picks in a long ass time. The last pick I made was a couple years ago. Let's just see if this actually shows up on this camera or not. Let's see. Is that focusing?
Is that a brain?
No. See if you can see it. Come on. Okay, I don't know if it's focusing, but what it is it is a Dharma Initiative pick with the Anne Boleyn logo in the middle of it, because when I went to Australia to play guitar for Anne Boleyn 2 years ago, I made new picks with their logo in it. And Lost is my favorite show of all time. And I had Lost picks for myself for a long time, and so I made one with their logo in it for when I went to play with them. That's my last pick. Yeah, super interesting answer to that question, right? Don't you think? Super interesting.
Yeah, that was tight.
Yeah. That was fun. Love Anne Boleyn. Love those. Are you friends with those guys, though?
Yeah, my buddy Jeremy, who frequents my chat, and I think he's going to start streaming on Twitch. He actually just mixed their new album that's coming out.
Jeremy from Moments in Grace, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Dude, I love that band, and I love his voice.
DC
Dude,
Maven, thanks
he's
for
the
the
best.
follow. Lionel, thanks for the resub.
Such a nice dude.
May the force
Yeah,
be with you.
killed it on those mixes,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. He's a good. I loved that band back in the day.
Yeah, he
Know what
does.
that is, I've never seen that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Our buddy, remember the band Moments in Grace?
No.
No.
I played them for you, Ryan, when I first joined the band. I
Yes,
was
but
like,
you're
you need
asking me
listen
to
this guy's
remember
voice.
something. The
Exactly.
question
Yeah.
was, do you remember this thing?
Yep. Yes.
But yeah, he just mixed the new Anne Boleyn album.
Oh, cool.
And he's killing it for sure. The mixes sound great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find. Did you text that movie trailer stuff?
I did. Yeah.
Movie trailer stuff.
Someone asked if there would ever be a Census Fail and Saosin tour, and the answer would be, heck yeah.
Like would or is?
There would. Yeah, there would be.
Yeah, there would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We
you guys-
tour
You would tour what?
pretty much with anyone that's cool. You know, like we just, like I said, like I've said it on my stream, we're kind of, it sounds like, I feel like we're kind of in a similar scenario, right? Like we've kind of made our careers to the point where it's like everything outside the band kind of supports us as a career now. So the band just kind of becomes like a passion project, you know? So it's like, we don't have to tour like some bands to where like to pay our bills. Like it doesn't matter if we tour or not. We don't count on any of the band income as, important source of income. So anytime that we get to tour, it's just fun. And that's probably why we don't prioritize touring so much, you know? And same thing with writing albums. It's kind of like when I have time and the mood strikes and it's like everything's perfect and lines up, then we do music. But until then, we try not to like force anything, you know, just because I think back from being in the band, so when it was like the main source of income, it was always so stressful as far as like, okay, we have to tour for these amount of months. And as soon as you get home, you have to write another record and then you got to get on the cycle, you know, and it was so stressful. Whereas now we just kind of relax and do our thing. And, you know, and obviously too, Anthony is in Circa Survive and his solo stuff. So we try to be super respectful of that. We definitely take a back seat and we say, you guys, like Circa Survive, like your main income is the band. Like I don't think they have other jobs. So like we try to be like, all right, well, we want to do Riot Fest. You guys want to do Riot Fest. Like let's how about we let you guys do it? You know what I mean? Like we don't really need to. You know what I mean? So we're totally fine with that.
Our band is really relaxed these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's tough to be more relaxed than we are these days.
Totally. Yeah.
I had somebody ask what I'm doing for writing music with bands. I guess you're asking about me working with other bands. Kind of like off the table now. It's just not really where, you know, I'm at creatively. I've tried to dabble in it. I produced a few records. When I first moved to Nashville, I got super into the co-writing scene. You know, I was going out on songwriting sessions 5 days a week, and it just burned me out. It's just not what I like to do. So I don't have any plans right now. You know, an opportunity could always come along that I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds amazing. I have to do it. But I'm not actively pursuing working with or writing for other bands right now. Tal, what's your recommendation? I'm ready. You know how you love Coldplay. Why not do a cover for their song? Yes. Well, here's the thing. Coldplay was definitely like automatic shoe-in for the covers album, but then I kind of got it in my head to just do female artists because I think there's something cool about taking their songs and putting a male voice on the track. So I don't know if I've committed to that totally, but if I haven't, I promise Coldplay gets the first slot. But I think I'm gonna do female artists only for it.
Which Kesha song are you doing?
Die Young. Music Fanatic, thanks for the follow. So
Dude,
we were gonna
we are who we are, man. Dude, that song rips. I don't care what anyone says.
Most of her songs rip, to be honest.
I totally agree that most of her songs rip. Well, her older songs. Her newer stuff I listened to the other day, I was like, huh.
Yo, Thong, that's my kind of question. Ryan, what was your tour rig like when you were out with Newfound Glory? Give us the lowdown on your guitar rig.
Really simple. I'm not like a super techie guitar player at all. Very much like clean and dirty when it comes to that style of music. In the studio, when I'm doing stuff that's guitar based, I'm definitely geared to more in that like explosions in the sky, Mogwai type. So I do a ton of effects and I'm a huge pedal board with all kinds of shit going on. But for Newfound Yellowcard type stuff, it was very much like distorted or not distorted. Those were my two tones. So Ryan Mendez and I both switched over to using Kempers many years ago in the band, which are for those of you that don't know, they're like amp modelers. So it's a digital recreation of a guitar amp, and they're really accurate and they sound really freaking good. And most touring artists are using them now. It seems like I don't see a show without a Kemper foot switch on the floor in front of whoever's playing. So for Newfound, I had my Kemper. I had two Fender Telecasters, like kind of custom made for me, with just one pickup, one knob, one pickup, Tom DeLonge style, just like clean and dirty, like I said. So I had that. I had a few little effects built in for their songs. Like they have some songs that had like a flange effect or a phaser effect or something. So I had channels for that. And then I had a MIDI keyboard with really simple, clean, like Apple main stage rig on a laptop. So it wasn't Ableton or anything complicated because it was just a few different synth sounds that I needed to have. So I would just switch between the songs and play the keys when I needed to. But it was really, really simple, clean setup. I mean, there was nothing complicated at all. But again, I'm not like a shredding guitar player. Never have been. Never really had any interest in learning how to shred. I've always been more of a songwriting based guitarist. So my rig is just not very complicated.
We were talking about this before. Go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry.
No, I said it's still pretty sweet rig though.
Yep. I was gonna say we were talking about guitar rigs before we got on, and we're like, we should save that. And I was like making a joke about how, like, you just back in the day we would plug a guitar into an amp and that was it. And you were like, that was never me. I always had. And then you started to go into it. We're like, let's save it.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. So I was totally the dude that was like, I will say I used to be kind of a crappy person back then. I feel like I have grown a lot into like being a much more better and like caring person.
At
right?
least we were crappy people together.
Right.
Yeah. For a few years.
I can't wait to hear how being a crappy person relates to your guitar rig.
Well, it's just like I was just very selfish and like never really cared about other people and always judgmental. And like, when you're 20 and it's like 20 years ago and you're like looking up to bands like Motley Crue and you know what I mean? Like you just want to be a big rock star kind of thing.
Those guys were caring, right? They probably were like good, genuine guys.
Oh yeah. Totally. But like, so I guess what I'm saying is like, I never had like just the amp because it was always like, whenever I would go to a show, I would 100% judge the bands like based on their gear before they even played. And it was like, if they didn't have like a rack gear thing and like the full road cases, it was like, oh, this band's probably going to suck. I'll be outside.
Yeah. Amateurs.
And then, but it's like, if they had like the rack gear set up and the cases and like even their cabs had cases, it was like, yo, these guys are probably going to rip.
For me, I needed them to have the Korg rack matted tuner. That's what I needed.
That was that. And, dude, okay. So the Korg rack mount tuner and the Furman, even if
Of course.
And it's like, even if you only have the tuner and your amp, you still need the eight power supplies.
And
right?
the
Well, duh,
Furman,
what are you
dude,
gonna
the Furman with the
amp into?
Furman with the light,
With the pull-out
the
lights.
lights that
Yep.
pulled out
Yeah.
to really give it
Yep.
vibe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I was always like super extreme with my rigs. And then it was like, okay, well, I have to do like rack mounted effects. And then from there, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to put pedals in the tray, but I'm going to control everything with a big looper. And then even from the very beginning, like I remember us touring with Avenged Sevenfold and learning that they had their whole set on a click track. And like I would go like listen to their monitors with their monitor guy. And it was like, you know, that was the first time I ever heard a band do the whole like, you know, 4, 3, 2, 1. And like, you know, everyone has the click in their ear and they all started at the same time. And I was like, what is this magic? You know, like the drummer did not even click them in. Like, what happened?
Just started.
Yeah. So then like, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, we need that. So like, yeah, I mean, I've always been like super attracted to the really complex, like over the top rigs, you know, but now I'm just Axe FX and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, dude, check this out. Sorry to get off the guitars for just a second, because right, we should talk about yours through the years as well. Bree just sent me the day sheet from the tour, like a picture of an actual off the wall day sheet from our tour with Saosin. So this show was at the Ventura Theater on October 25th, 2003. And check out this lineup: Stole Your Woman, our buddies from Camarillo. Yeah. Who actually, they had like some buzz going in like in the West Coast kind of punk scene. Reeve Oliver.
Oh yeah.
Sean O'Donnell. God, what a band, dude. I still listen to Reeve Oliver records if I need some rock and roll. That's a band I choose often in my playlists, you know, to listen to. Acceptance.
Oh.
Saosin, Yellowcard. That was the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was at that show.
That's a sick tour.
Day off the next day. So we were in Ventura and we had a day off the next day. Bo, you and I were probably in a fucking ditch somewhere.
Right.
And then next morning.
Probably went to Dargan's across the street. Yep.
Oh.
What a lineup. What a lineup.
Yeah.
I dig music.
So Mendez, your guitar rig through the years. Let's go.
It was never that crazy, honestly. Like back in my old band, like it was just my rack mounted rectifier into a Mesa cab, and that was it. And like I had a rack too, and I had like, you know, the tuner and the Furman, because obviously you had to have that to be a legitimate musician.
Yeah.
But like, and then when I joined Yellowcard, like I remember just because like Mesa would just give us stuff, so I remember we were like using those stiletto amps for a while.
Yeah.
And like
Road
then
King too.
just used like Road Kings, all that stuff.
I used the Road King through most of Yellowcard's analog amp years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to say you guys. I want to say at those shows we did together, Ryan was Mesa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we had like a Mesa deal that was like legit. I mean, they would just send us stuff to try all the time. It was crazy.
Like when I was like getting into NoFX and I saw like pictures of like Eric Melvin using a rack mounted dual rectifier, I was like, well, that's what I need.
Yeah,
I don't care about it.
Same for us. Like in high school in Florida, you know, we would go see Strung Out and Lagwagon and No Use for a Name and NoFX and all those bands, and they were all playing Mesa amps. So it was like
at first,
my first head was like a solid state Marshall head. I don't remember which model it was, but you know, I went from like my first little crappy like thrift store combo amp to like a crate combo amp to my first speaker cabinet and head, and my first head was a Marshall solid state. But very shortly after that, I was like, okay, well, how do I find $3,000 to buy a Mesa head, you know, and like saved up for like two years to get my first Mesa head. And little did I know, by the time I got it at like, you know, 19 years old, that 2 years later I'd be getting them for free, or 3 years later I'd be getting them for free. Yeah. But yeah, we all had to have Mesas because of the punk scene, because of the like Warped Tour, West Coast Fat Records, Epitaph kind of punk scene. They were all playing Mesas. So hold on a sec.
Oh, this wildlife.
This wildlife is here. Well, first I missed some. Hawkster, thanks for the gift sub. Yarders, thanks for the follow. Tulio WZ, thanks for your Prime resub. What's up? And
May the
then
force be with you.
my dear friends in This Wildlife Band have This Wildlife, but their screen name is This Wildlife Band. And they just showed up and dropped 5 gift subs. You guys are too kind. Thank you so much. Is it Anth or Kev? Who's here? And Ant Ferraro, thanks for the resub.
May the force be with you. May the force be with you.
Dude, Mendez, I have to be twins with you for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, dude, thank you for stopping by, Anth, and dropping the gift subs. You're the man. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
dude. Absolutely. Yes.
Is that the ESP?
No. So
Or
his
is
is
that
a
a silver top
that's a
Les Paul?
That's
I
a that's a
Silver
Les Paul
burst, right?
burst.
Yeah. So, and you have the same one back there, right?
So this is actually an ESP, but I do have one of those also.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I do have the Les Paul Custom. This particular one is an ESP, which I got because when we started playing ESP, I was like, I want I had the Silver Burst for a while. And I was like, well, I want a Silver Burst one because I love the Silver Burst one, which I got because of the band Screw 32, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember that band. On Fat Records, I saw them. They were like a younger Fat band, and I saw them, and their guitar player had a Silver Burst, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
So yes, this one's that one's ESP, but I do have one as well.
Okay.
Well, check out these. I
yeah.
was telling you about these guitars I had made for Newfound Glory. Check this out. So they're like, I had them put these like, they made these custom pickguards, and these are the Telecaster Ventera necks. So they have the big fat head on them. Like, they don't have the little skinny Telecaster. head, you know? Then I did black hardware, just the one knob. It's cool, like vintage kind of knob with like the white numbers on it, you know, like. And then I got black Evertune hardware on the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
So it's a beast, dude. So I have
Oh,
this
how do you
one.
feel about Everton?
Wait, what?
No, go ahead, Ryan.
No, go ahead. Yeah, because I'm gonna grab the other one off the wall.
I was just gonna say, how do you feel about Evertune? Because for me, I feel like it's a no-brainer and like one of the best inventions of all time. But then I've seen people lately going like, I don't like Evertune. I'm like, what? Okay. I just want to know what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same people that like ride horses and say that like, you know, cars are stupid. You know, like it's like.
So this is the
You know
other
what I
one I
mean?
had.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had to
those
make.
people, yes.
Yeah,
You're right.
or it's the same people that are like, you know, you need to learn how to ride a horse before you drive a car, and you're like, no, it's stupid. Just give me my power seats and my power windows. Like for instance, so I just got a new signature guitar that showed up the other day. I did like a live unboxing on Twitch, and it was like literally shipped from Pennsylvania the week before. It got held up in like Arkansas, showed up. It's like 98 degrees outside here. Bring it in. I unbox it, and it's like perfectly in tune.
Dude, so when the band ended, I put my guitars in my vault and put it in an outdoor shed for like 3 years. I got them out to play when I went to Australia with Amber Lynn. They were flawlessly in tune.
Yeah.
For after 3 years of sitting outdoors,
I
they
need
were
someone
like
to come. I need someone to get their hands on mine then, because they're both totally out of tune, and they both have Evertune. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have to set them up, of course, and then
Yeah, but
once
I'm
they
just
stay
saying,
set
like
up,
yours came out of the case. I remember that exact story, and mine did not. Mine definitely did not come out of the case. When I got them out of storage, they were way out of tune.
So when I first got them, I remember like, you know, the first couple tours, like we would finish the tour in the States and then take a couple weeks off, and then like they would get shipped to Europe, and we'd be over in Europe, and we'd pull them out. Oh, still perfectly in tune from the last tour and the flight. It's like, dude, who complains about that?
I have a funny story about Evertune, real quick. For a while, I was doing in-ear monitors for the used, and I don't know, probably for about like 2 years or so, I was like traveling around with them, and I watched a video of Keith Merrow, like a total like metal like gent guy, like, and he did this video on Evertune, and it was like, you know, he's like playing these sick riffs, and then all of a sudden it's like the camera cuts, and he's just like holding the strings, and then it cuts back over, and he starts playing again, and it's perfectly in tune, and my mind was just like blown, right? So
The camera cuts.
yeah, and like I was like, oh my gosh. So then I called Evertune, and I was like, hi, I work with a band called The Used, and I'd like to have the guitarist get an Evertune guitar. So I basically parlayed it into like, hey, give Quinn an Evertune guitar, and I'll be the judge if it actually works or not.
Awesome.
So, but dude, it was honestly, it was like, like once Quinn got the guitar and like I had to convince him to play it, you know, because obviously like at the time no one knew what they were. It was like, what is this device? It's going to ruin my guitar, whatever. But it was like literally Quinn would play the Evertune guitars and it'd be like, dude, you guys sound like the album. It's insane. And then you would go back to like a regular guitar and it's like, it wasn't like high school band bad, but when you compare it to like a perfectly in tune guitar,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh,
That was
man.
that was by yeah. I was gonna say that was by far my biggest. The thing that hit me the hardest when I first got mine is the first show I played with it. It's not so much that it was amazing that it didn't have the tune, which of course was amazing, but it was just how spot on everything you played. Like the songs sounded better. Every single chord you played everywhere was just perfectly in tune.
Yeah.
So the songs sounded better, and I was just
Right.
like, Jesus, like this is unreal. Like, you know, most people are like, well, you know, I don't want to have to tune the guitar. Sure. But to me, it's way more about just how good everything you play sounds.
Yeah, I agree.
For
Tal,
sure.
I would certainly consider an Adele song. I haven't thought about it yet though. We're gonna get into it tomorrow as far as like picking the next track. Ant, thanks for another gift sub. Hooking up this wildlife. Ant, if you're gone, I love you. Bye. What was I gonna say? I think that the concept behind what you're talking about now and like going to see a band and listening to them with this like the guitars are just perfectly in tune. It's definitely something that people are debating, right? Like it shouldn't be like that. That's not, you know, like, or it's like, yeah, it sounds better, so do it. And you're going to come down on one side of it. But I think that it just plays into so much of what's going on with music in general now and like the human ear. And I think honestly, like the evolution of the human body and like what ears are like used to hearing now and what sounds normal. I think it would be harder for a band from like the 90s, you know, like to get like an Eddie Vedder who like part of the charm of his performance is that he's not perfectly in tune. He's just going for it. I think to like, especially younger music fans now, that would just sound weird. It would just sound like, why is it not perfectly in tune? And I think that's why you honestly have to kind of lean on auto-tune and some of the things now, because an imperfect recording sounds strange to people these days because the technology has evolved to a point. Now, look, there are certain like for sure like indie rock bands and some people that can still get away with that sort of like raw sound, but I definitely think that's completely the minority now, whereas there was like a transitional period, I think maybe in the like early 2000s, mid 2000s, when technology was just advancing so quickly. And so I think it's interesting to say that like you can hear the difference when an Evertune guitar is on stage now or not. I mean, that's crazy to know that you can hear it, but it's there. And like software instruments too, you know, like you're not gonna have the budget to go. I can't put a grand piano in my house, but now I can spend $200 or $300 and get the best sounding grand piano that ever existed, but it's gonna be perfectly in tune. You know, I mean, because it's sampled from a tuned piano and it's being played. That's going to sound different than a real grand piano because it's not going to have those imperfections in it. But people are starting to be more used to hearing the software versions of the instruments than the real ones. And it's like, do you fight it? You know, or if you can't beat them, join them. You know, it's like, I don't have the budget to go record a full string orchestra for every track I want to do. But I have a full string orchestra at my fingertips anytime I want them, you know? So that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah, I think it also is like, I think at least me as producing stuff, like sometimes there's things that you can do in like the virtual world that just isn't possible in like the real life world. Yep. You know, like whether it's, you know, playing the left hand and the right hand separately, you know what I mean? Yep. Or like, oh, I messed up that take and everything was amazing except like my foot pedal articulation was wrong. It's like, cool, no problem. We'll just go fix it and then retrack it through. No problem. Yep. You know, like
I do the left hand, right hand thing 100%. Like my greatest regret in life is not knowing how to play piano. You know, I was in lessons as a kid. I was bored and quit and never paid attention to it and ended up loving music so much. You know, I would give anything to have an 8-year-old brain, 8-year-olds, dude, to have an 8-year-old brain when I started taking piano lessons, you know, and be able to absorb it now the way that I did. Because you can't. I mean, trying to really learn how to properly play piano at our age is like trying to learn a new language. Right? Your brain just isn't going to do, you know, soak it up the way it used to. So I definitely and I've talked about this on stream when I'm producing, I do left hand, right hand when I'm playing piano parts a lot of times. Sometimes I don't have to, but if it's more complex, I do. But I also go through, and I think this holds true when you're like programming drums, unless you're doing like a deliberate production thing where the drums wouldn't be able to be played live like that, but it's like 2 drum parts happening at the same time or something like that. But I go through and make sure it's playable. You know what I mean? I don't do left hand, right hand because it's not humanly possible. I make sure that I can fumble through the part with both hands, and then I'm like, okay, and then I just track it, because it's not like it used to be where you'd have to track a piano, right? Left and right, and then you're getting this weird kind of like phasey room sound because it's the same recording on top of itself. Now, when you press play and the MIDI is playing, it's all in the same plugin. It's all in the same room. It sounds like you're playing it at once. So, I talk about this all the time on stream. Like, do you scoff at the tools because it makes it more accessible for people who aren't as talented, or do you celebrate that the tools are there and use them because they're available, and more people can make great music with the tools? I'm of the mind that use them if they're there, because it's, like it's an instrument that you're playing the way you know how to play it. It doesn't mean you have to be a virtuoso on the piano. Like you can make cool music with the tools we have available to us now. So they shouldn't be like shit on because it's easier or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I celebrate them totally. I look at it just the same as like, okay, yeah, there's going to be the guy that, grew up building houses with like a hand screwdriver, and he's going to get mad at the guy using an impact driver, or a drill. And it's just like, why would you be mad at that? Like the tools are available to you too. Like, imagine how much better you would be knowing like the history of how to use a regular screwdriver, and then using that knowledge as well. So, I mean, like, and I attack it the same way you do too. Like, it's like, make it playable. And I think we have an advantage because we know what's possible and what's not possible compared to some people. And we had to, especially with drum programming, right? Because like, as you've played with and recorded so many drummers, as you're like working out the velocities to make it feel real, a lot of the times people are like, how do you know how to make it feel real? It's like, well, I've just been around drummers for 20 years, and I know that like every time I go, like, that anticipation hit is going to be lighter, and like, you just know that, like, and you can't really explain that, because it's never a rule, right? Like, sometimes you're like, well, I want that beat to go boof, boom, ka, boom, boom. Like, I want the accent to feel different, and it's all about the feel and your intent and how to use those tools,
I think sometimes people also like they'll say, oh, well, just allow it, like people aren't talented and it just allows anyone to do stuff because they can just fumble through it, because back in the day you had to know how to play your instrument, blah blah blah. Like, of course that's true, but the way I look at it is like, it allows people who know what they're doing and like good musicians to just do stuff faster. So you can get ideas down faster, and you can accomplish what you want to accomplish faster. And not always, of course, but it just makes a lot of things just easier. It's not even about shortcuts. It's about, it allows you to do a lot of other cool stuff that would take really long otherwise.
Well, also in the age of content creation, that's the problem. It's like, if you're not someone who has this like, I don't know, super solid income from something else, or, you're in one of the biggest bands in the world, so money doesn't matter, and you can take 2 years to make an album if you want. Like, if you're relying on your streaming revenue, if you're relying on getting syncs and, trailer music, stuff like this, like, you got to be turning that shit over just day and night. And so you have to use these tools to speed up the process. It's like, would I prefer to have 2 or 3 weeks to get the perfect vocal take without auto-tune at all, to be prideful and say that I sang that? Because that's how they used to do it. Just come in and well, unless you're like one of the just like, all-time greatest vocalists of all time, which they exist, where they come in and they just knock it out in one take and it's done, But so many vocalists back in the day, prior to that, like tape recording vocals and stuff, it would be like, let's try again, and we'll hit that verse again in a couple days. And you just kind of did that throughout the making of these like massive rock records or whatever they were doing. And then they comp it together the same way we do now. But now you got to do your vocal and comp it on the same day. It's like, all right, we're doing I mean, even on the Yellowcard records, on like the budgeted, Yellowcard records, it was like, okay, we're doing vocals on this song today. It was sung and comped and listened down by the time I left the studio that day, the whole song. So you have to speed it up. I mean, it's just the nature of the world we live in now, I think.
Well, and I think that the tools are helpful at different points too. Like, because like for me, like And I guess it depends on what our strengths are as a musician as well. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously, if you and I were drummers, it might be faster for us to just go over there, hit
Play the
record,
drums.
and actually play the beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I'm the same way when it comes to guitar or bass. Like programming bass for a song takes me 10, 20 minutes, but it's just easier to like play, and you want to get the slides and stuff. That I'll just play it. It takes me 3 minutes, you
Right.
know, like, so I don't know. Everything is a tool to me. And I think that if you're gonna, it's like, if you're complaining about this stuff, then just go buy yourself an analog tape machine and drive to your studio in your horse-drawn carriage.
Ride your horse to the studio for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, let me plug this one more time, and then before we end here in a few minutes, I want you guys to talk. You were going to talk mixing stuff, and I want to hear it for sure. But if you are here hanging today, thank you guys so much. We got a lot of new people here today. I am going to give away a copy of Ocean Avenue handwritten lyrics in about 10 minutes or so. Reminder that it is September, so your subs are 20% off if you want to sub, and you get a chance to win that lyric sheet.
Do it!
And then you'll also be subbed to my channel, and I do giveaways every day on stream. I either do lyrics or signed records or posters or something. I do something every day. So subscribe to the channel. Come hang while I'm making music, producing every day. And I do a giveaway towards the end of stream every day. So all that said, Ryan, you were going to ask Beau about like some of his mixing stuff, I think.
First of all, I was going to say thank you, because via your Nail the Mix put up like a video of you talking about Track Spacer.
Okay.
And that is now probably one of my most used plugins, which I learned from your video. Like, I think you were talking about how to like fit like a bass bomb into like a mix with low end, and you used that plugin, and that's how I learned about that plugin, which I now use like ridiculously on every single mix. And it's
dude,
like,
it's so great.
what an unreal plugin and such a great idea, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, because I wouldn't know about it otherwise. It's nuts. I wish there was a couple things about the plugin that would like function a little bit better in terms of like the spectrum analyzer, and like also the attack and release, which seems to not really correlate with what you're seeing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Yeah. But it's insane. Like,
yeah, I mean, it does that thing well.
Yes, that one thing, but like it's crazy how well that thing works on so many things and can really help clear out space in a mix. So yeah. Any other cool stuff like that you use regularly?
Yeah, on that same tip, I'd probably say, do you have Soothe 2 yet?
Yep.
So Soothe 2, I like to use the sidechain on that to clear out space for things. So like, for instance, you could put Soothe 2 on like your instrument bus, and then sidechain your vocals to that, so it only dips a little bit out where the vocal frequencies are coming through, and it follows it, you know?
That's super cool. Yeah.
Wild.
So it works similar to Track Spacer.
Everyone in my chat knows how anti-mixer I am. So this is like, you guys are confirming why I'm that way right now, live on Twitch.
Soothe is, are you an Eric Valentine fan, Beau?
Yeah.
So he's like, his channel, I mean, he hasn't really been doing it much lately, but for a while, his YouTube channel was like amazing with his like super detailed walkthroughs of his mixes and stuff. His video of Take Back Sunday, Make Damn Sure was like so sick.
What
just
a jam.
Hours of him like breaking down his production and mix of that song for free. Like, okay, thanks, Eric. But he was talking about Soothe being like kind of just basically just taking the place of having to go through and do super like surgical automated EQ on like certain resonances for like vocalists and stuff. And it's insane how well that plugin works for that.
Yeah.
For that kind of stuff.
Dude, I mix, these are kind of like slightly brag stories just because like I know people, you know what I mean? But like, so you were talking about comping vocals and stuff, right? So I engineered an album for this producer, Michael Beinhorn, and he produced Soundgarden's Super Unknown. And he was saying that Chris Cornell recorded his own vocals for that album on tape in Studio B. And he said that Chris Cornell's voice was so loud. And again, like Michael is a very eccentric producer. And like when I was working for him, he was kind of like figuring out a way to make, like, how can I figure out how to make a proper album for under $1 million? Is that even possible? Right. And you're just like, well, yeah,
Crazy.
Of course it is.
It's crazy.
You know? but it's like at that level of production, right? So, but then it's as you hear the story, you'll kind of understand what's going on. So it's like, so basically he had Chris Cornell in Studio B. So they're renting 2 studios basically for the Super Unknown. And Chris Cornell is in there tracking his own vocal with a tape machine next to him, punching in his own punch-ins. And they were using a U67 with no pop filter. And he said they went through about 15 U67s because Cornell would just blow out the capsule. And then it would be like, all right, studio, we need another 67 in here. They're just going through the budget.
They're 10 grand a pop. So
yeah, like, and they're just like, oh yeah, we need another one of these. Cool. Well, go get lunch and we'll get you another one. And then, yeah, finish comping your own vocals on tape, you know? So just, that was a super rad story. And then, what was the other thing that you just mentioned? Let's see, there was your vocal comping, and then
About production stuff.
yeah, production.
Drum programming.
No, it was like just recently. I cut you off. Anyways,
cut
whatever.
Ryan off?
Yeah, I think so.
I was just talking about mixing stuff, using Soothe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
automated EQ.
okay, so then, so Michael Beinhorn also produced a Bronx record that the super famous mixer guy, I forget his name. He died a couple years ago, but he did like Hysteria with Mutt Lange.
Mike Shipley.
Shipley, yeah.
I know the story you're gonna say. I think
you're talking about like the one where they would punch in vocals with the graphic EQ and like
graphic EQ and automate it in real time. Yeah, you should tell it though.
So, but yeah, basically, so Michael was telling me how they used to tune vocals back before auto-tune. Is they would basically, as the song is playing, there's like a counter going. And again, this is before DAWs, so you could actually see the tracks. So it would just be a tape machine. And then as it would go, you would just have to like watch the counter clock and say like, oh, 125.24. That was, I think that was maybe 5 cents sharp on this lyric. And then they would make all these notes, right? So it's like if it was sharp, then they would set up a pitch shifter to be 5 cents flat. And then what they would do is they would send the vocal out to that, and then they would have it coming back in on the arm channel, and they would punch in just for that word, but that only the pitch shifted down part would get tracked. So that's how they would tune all the vocals, like word by word. And then it was like crap. Well, so check this out. So imagine it being this stressful, right? He said, obviously you had to basically duplicate the track onto a new track because there was the possibility that you would accidentally punch in a little too early and then pitch shift down the previous word or not get it. Yeah. So then it's like, but yeah, that's how they would do all the tuning, just word by word and just guess.
I bet they were doing that for so many records. And now that I know that story, I bet all of this pre-auto-tune hype of like, you know, thinking.
Oh yeah, back in the day, man.
I bet everyone was doing it. I bet.
Oh, for sure.
Every record was tuning vocals like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then they would do automated EQ moves, kind of like Soothe, to where it's like. So he was saying that like Shipley basically had this like, imagine like a 500 series like API like graphic EQ but type of thing, but like imagine like a 32 band EQ, and they would just be listening to the vocal, and then it's like, you know, so take like your own, you know, only one. It's like, there I go. It's like, oh, and when he says go, it's a little harsh on the 2.5K. So let's just, so when it gets to that point, you're gonna notch that down.
Yeah.
In real time.
And they would audit in real time and then track it to a new track and then listen back and be like, do we get it? Didn't do it. Okay, let's try it again. And like that's
why records took a year to make.
Right.
Absolutely. But like that, and I remember, I think, did you read about that on Gear Sluts, Bo?
No.
Okay. I think I read about that story on Gear Sluts, and I think they were talking about either making a Shania Twain record or a Def Leppard record. It was one of those, and just talking about holding the rack mount unit on their laps and just adjusting it in real time like that. And it's like, what's crazy about it is like, okay, so it's not so much that these tools that we have nowadays are like some newfangled things that are helping us cheat. It's like, no, it's just more efficient ways to do the same stuff that people were doing before when they had the budget and the time to do it.
Yeah, it's to me, it's the difference between like, if you know math, it's the difference between a calculator and a pen and paper.
Right. Sure. Yes.
It's that difference.
Yeah. I was also going to ask you, what is your mixing setup? Are you doing?
Let me do this, Ryan. Let me do this giveaway before you hold that question.
You're good. You're good.
You guys ready? I can't fit it in the whole frame today because I'm all cropped. But I wrote these lyrics to this song that Beau likes, but not as much as Only One. And you have like 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.5. 2.
Someone said Ocean Boulevard.
1.
By Yellowcard.
Raffles closed. All right.
I dig music.
Do it.
I meant to hit that one.
Fucking thing sucks.
All right. Who's gonna win today? I'm ready. Draw it. All right, dude. I love when like the regs win. Gigadrain's been sub to the channel for like 5 months or something. So, congratulations. Winner,
sick.
winner. I do that every day. So if you wanna come hang, sub to the channel. I give away a lyric sheet or a poster or a signed record or something every day on stream. So come hang. But congratulations to Master Gigadrain. Big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, dude.
You did it. You've done it.
Okay, mix rig, and then we're gonna share some trailer music, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
I was just
tight.
gonna ask what your setup is in terms of being in the box versus analog. Obviously, I see you got a bunch of gear there. What's your vibe? Hybrid?
Yeah, it's hybrid, but then it depends. You know, like the problem is now, like it seems like I'm always working on 4 albums at once, and even if I finish an album, it's like, oh hey, I know that I told you we wouldn't need these stems, but now we do need the stems, and it's like, well, shit, okay, well now I have to like recall everything. So I've been using less and less outboard when I'm like slammed busy, you know, if it's a thing. But if it's like I'm doing an album and I have the time to just focus on that one album, then I can do it. But I also have to do it. But again, all the stars have to align, because when I'm doing the album that requires outboard gear, I have to make sure that like the other singles and stuff I'm working on don't require outboard gear. So yeah, for the most part, it's everyone seems to appreciate the efficiency over like the gain of audio quality now.
And what are your like go-to pieces
Great.
of outboard gear?
You know what I mean? Like they just want it fast.
Yeah.
My go-to stuff for mixing. I really like these Pope Audio Bax EQs. They're really awesome. I have a set of old Telefunken W395 EQs too. And then the Compex is great. And then, you know, the distressors, I almost am more leaning on towards the Empirical Labs plugins, because I can do stuff that's not possible on these.
Yeah, I feel like when I first started really getting into mixing, I was having I sat down at lunch with our producer Neil, and I was like, hey, what are your like, give me like a short list of stuff that you would say absolutely. And he was just like talking about obviously UAD stuff, and I was like, yeah, so the technology has gotten to the point where it's pretty freaking indistinguishable. And he was like, yeah, definitely. And I was like, I'm thinking about getting a Neve console, like what was the little
Like centerpiece.
4-channel like centerpiece, yeah, the Neve centerpiece. And he was like, you don't need that. I was like,
Right.
really? Like, he was like, no, you don't need that. And against my better judgment, I got it anyways, and then used it for like 6 months, and I was like, this is dumb. I don't
Right.
need this.
Yeah,
So I
I
sold
think it was like
And so-
10 grand. You didn't need it.
Yeah, it was like 8 or something,
Yeah.
85 or some shit. But it's like, that's so ridiculous that you definitely just don't need that these days, you know. And it was just a
Yeah.
good lesson.
And I think a lot of it is with your ears too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's almost like
Yeah.
it's like you either have the sound in your head that you're trying to achieve,
Yep.
or I mean, but I can understand too, like people that aren't necessarily, they don't have a clear picture of what they're chasing. And then, so for them, maybe it's like, okay, well, what happens if I insert this thing on there? Oh, I like that. Cool. I need that now. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like, I think for us, if we know what we're chasing, you can
Yeah.
kind of get there with emulations.
I do think, yeah, and I think the UAD stuff nowadays is like, it's insane. And like, if you like with a good set of ears and knowing what you want, like you should be able to accomplish anything with that. And it's definitely the recallability aspect is why I've decided to just stay completely in the box.
Yeah.
I just was interested in your setup, so that makes sense.
And Ryan, you've told me about like some of the biggest mixers in the game. I mean, mixing like top level, number one single, top 40. They're just mixing on headphones on a laptop in the box.
Yeah.
Like the game has just completely changed.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right, so this is cool because we've both been doing this a little bit. So Beau sent me this is like a actual video, right? Like a trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, this one's old. This one's about like 6-7 years old.
Okay.
But I did about like 3 or 4 of these that were pretty big.
Well, hold on. Let me full screen this and
Shaking. Just all of your shaking.
kill it. The ad sound. Hold on. See now what's
Showing
odd?
you, Waves is very popular. A lot of people love Waves.
All right. So Ryan and I, what we'll play you, Beau, after I play yours. We don't know. It's not like used for anything. We just started working on some trailer cues, and we think we made a few, but one of them we think we like knocked out of the park.
Well, we were also told that by a girl who
very true.
was at a trailer house.
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna switch screens so we can watch this is a video game trailer, right, Beau?
Yeah. It's for that game, Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Let's say we have one last dance. Hands up, Ashley!
From the creators of Mortal Kombat, the biggest fighting game of the year is now bigger than ever.
They prefer chaos? I'll give it to them.
The Injustice Saga is finally complete.
Beautiful song. Catch me if you can.
Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. Download the mobile game on iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Coming to Android holiday 2013.
Yeah.
Right on.
I did that. And then I sent you another one that's actually the same score, but used in a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny how they use the same score in like a comedy movie. But I don't know. It's so funny.
So it's like, how did you get that? How did you get the gigs?
It's so random. So there's the dude that is basically like the godfather of like modern trailer music. This guy named Chris Field. And he was the really cool story to bore you with. He is an older guy, lives like in like the Hollywood, like Topanga Canyon area. Mm-hmm. His whole life, he wanted to be in a band, couldn't make it in a band, and then got a job at Tower Records on Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset, whatever it was. And then started scoring classical music and, on his computer, and then wrote a song called, what is it called? Gothic Power, I think. And he was playing his music at Tower Records over the PA, and a guy walked in and was like, "What is this music that I'm hearing?" And it turns out that the guy was like starting a trailer music company.
Wow.
And so the song that he did was the one, it was like the big song. It was either Lord of the Rings. I think it was Lord of the Rings. So it was like the big one. So he's the first person to basically use like choir samples in like hybrid, like orchestral action stuff.
Yeah, we're about to show you some of that.
Yeah. So I was working at the Bronx studio, and this dude had a studio next to him, And then he was hanging out one day, and I was working on some new Saosin songs, and he's like, I love this sound. What is this? And I told him it was my band, and then he said, like, let's write some songs together. So we did this and like 4 other songs. And then from there, that got me the deal with like the publishing company, and then they did all the shopping to like put the stuff out to the movies and the games and stuff.
Yeah, we're trying. We haven't had time to go back and focus on doing more of them after we sort of, as we say, like, feel like we nailed this one that I'm going to play you, because we actually got connected with a friend. What's the house? Ignition? What's the house?
I forget the name. Maybe it might be Ignition.
So they're not actually like the publisher; they're the actual trailer house. They're making the trailers,
right?
And so she was like, she actually came over to my house, to the studio, to hang with us for a couple days, to like give us a lot. She was like, "You guys definitely are on to this, but you're not. It's your first couple tries. So you're not like there yet.
Little streamlining.
So
things,
here's what I think. This blah blah blah." So we're like, "Okay, thanks." Took the notes. She left. We started from scratch on a new one, sent that one over, and dude, her reply was so sick. She was like, I'll put this in every trailer I have right now. You're done, you're good, you nailed it, make more of these. And we haven't had time to do any more of them, but
this was in late March of 2020. So
right before COVID. And so it really messed us up.
Right before everything shut down. So,
yeah, it really messed us up.
Will you play the other one that he sent you? I want to hear that same score in a comedy thing. I want to hear how that.
It's pretty funny.
Hold on.
I'm interested to hear that. Just shows how funny the trailer world is and how vastly different a final piece of content can be with the same music, depending on what their goal is. It's pretty crazy.
Because like
whatever doll it is.
Sorry,
so
that's just
that cue has been used like maybe 6 or 7 times, and but they keep chopping it up differently.
Yeah.
Do you get paid every time that they use it?
It's ludicrous, yeah. So every time they use it, it's a new licensing fee, and then obviously too, every time it's international, every country is a new licensing fee as well.
Dude,
I have some buddies who have had a couple of cuts, and when they tell me the dollar amounts, it's completely like, well, okay, but like we have one and it's really good. Why can't we? Will someone use this, please? Hold on. All right, let's listen to this.
I think it starts maybe like halfway through.
Okay.
Bulletproof.
You can't hurt us. We've got bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
That pellet was filled with a toxin, and I'll be dead in 90 seconds if you don't suck it out.
You can suck it, or you can let me die.
Okay.
What would you like written on your gravestone?
Suck it!
And in what font would you like that?
Bring me Sebastian Graves.
I lost him forever. I'm useless.
You are not useless. Who's the man who can get me pregnant without even waking me up?
Me.
Who's the man who's never even read a book?
Me.
And who's the man who had sex with me in a police station without even getting arrested?
That wasn't me.
Oh, never mind that.
You don't have guts.
I disagree. Ukrainian Ben Affleck.
Oh, Lowry's, eh? I understand why you love guns so much. I mean, it completely detaches you from the guilt of your actions.
Oh, will you stop shooting everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when they do this stuff like when they chop it up, you know what I mean? Like at the end when it was like dun dun, you know, did you give them the stems for that, or did they just chop the actual song itself?
Yeah, so when you deliver it, it's basically there's like 6 or 7 different like mixed stems that you give them. You know, they want like just a drums, just a bass, just a guitar, just orchestral, just this, just that, because that way you don't have to keep doing it. And then their producer just goes through and says like, no, I want to chop this, but I want to have like the thing hang over.
Well, All right, well,
Yeah.
here we'll play you this. I don't have a video for it to go with because we make all this great music and it doesn't get picked up. So I'm gonna play you the song though, and
that's the goal, is to make great music.
yeah, the goal is for someone
Okay,
to
so-
say, "This is cool."
Okay, so can I give you a hack that the dude told me? And again, this is just like coming from the dude that like Lord of the Rings, Twilight, like every huge blockbuster movie this guy's like done.
Yes.
He said basically the biggest hack you can do is just like, so if you're trying to score like an action adventure, right? Just put up an action adventure trailer.
We did.
And make sure
We did
make
that
sure
a
your
lot.
pacing is right. Okay,
100%.
yeah, so you're good.
We always did.
The
Yeah, we
problem
were
is-
watching like 3 or 4 different trailers.
Yeah, we finished the piece and we got awesome feedback, and then everything shut down because of COVID, and then we just stopped working.
By the way, she was
That's
very
right.
much. She was very much like, I mean, this one's great. Like, a lot of potential.
It's
Could
done.
probably get this cut, but you need a full album of them. Whereas I think your situation, you were working with a dude who had a main line to like getting it placed. Where like,
Right.
she was like, we need to be able to put up a full record worth of cues for people to choose from. That's just the way it works now in the climate now. People want to see a full album of trailers, so we haven't had time to finish it. But this is what it sounds like. So enjoy.
I'm so pumped.
I'm gonna make sure. I gotta make sure the level's right. But here, because streaming and me. But let's check it out.
It's good.
Oh, this is so sick. Like I can totally picture like the drone shot going over like this beautiful landscape, you know?
Absolutely.
It's wild, right?
Oh, dude, everything's perfect. Especially like the synth drop, where it's just like close up on the person's face, like, and then it's just like ending action scene, and then like the end, like the credit cops, and just like, you know what I mean?
Totally. And she was like, dude, the way it builds and drops and builds and drops and builds, and then like, I think the biggest thing we had to learn was that the part you think is the biggest part, which is the like dun 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 dun, you know, that's actually not the biggest part. You need to add one last biggest part of after that. And so we started working with that a little bit and playing around with some ideas. And I think when we got that, we were like, and we listened down, we're like, okay, this totally, you know, makes sense what these tracks are supposed to be. So I definitely want to make more of them, because I think that one freaking rips, and we would make more of them rip, and could maybe, as you say, like make some serious get that paper up, as the kids say these days. But I don't know. It's just, you know,
rich off that.
Yeah, we got to finish the cues. So I don't know when we're gonna have time to do that, but we got to do it.
So, those are sick, man. You guys should do more of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude. We're pumped on how it turned out.
All right, dudes. Well, I might hang for. I have some peeps in here from Front Page. I might just hang for a bit and. Are
you gonna be streaming later today?
I'll probably wrap up after this. I might play some music for people that stuck around after Front Page, and then I will probably shut down for the day. Honestly, I want to start messing around with, and Mara, my main like moderator who helps me with everything. She's the best. She's gonna like crawl into a corner and cover herself with a blanket and never come out when I say what I'm about to say. But I would like to mess around with the single PC streaming setup thing. So it's going to disrupt all the work we've done for months and months, but I want to try to figure it out. So I'm probably going to hop off and try to see what happens.
Bummed.
She's so bummed.
So bummed.
It's going to be better when it works. It's going to work, and it's going to be better for everyone.
So good.
Cause Soup goes, Mara, just quit.
I'm probably gonna get off here when we're done, and start mixing your song.
Hey, I appreciate that very much.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna start mixing away over here.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, everybody go check out Beau's stream. We've put the link in chat several times, so give him a follow. Doing cool stuff. Lots to learn about audio and mixing and engineering and stuff. And this has been super fun, dudes. Thanks for hanging on the channel.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We should totally do it again.
We shall. So until then, Beau, good luck with your twitching. Mendez.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing the mixes. And love
right
you guys.
On. Yeah.
You guys
Good to hang out.
Have a great day. See you guys.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah, dude.